Okay, and welcome to this video series. This is going to be web hacking for beginners, enough to be dangerous, where we're going to be covering the very basic fundamentals of web application penetration testing and hacking, coming from no-code experience all the way to executing your first couple of exploits, so you have a good understanding of the technologies in place. All right, a little bit about myself before we get into things so you know where I'm coming from. I am a former certified Subaru technician. I took 3 years of Japanese in college, and I have about 5 years of hacking experience at the time of this video. Self-taught, but in addition to that, I'm also an OSCP holder from Offensive Security as a certified practitioner. I'm also a professional penetration tester in the financial tech space as well. So what does this mean for you? Just like it says on screen, everything that I've gone through up until this point has been self-taught, and I fully believe that anyone can do this kind of work and anybody can learn so that they put enough time and effort into it. So the ultimate goal of this is going to be to provide you with the fundamentals and stepping stones to actually start doing this yourself. So let's talk about what is web hacking, just to make sure that this course is going to be right for you. So web app attacks would be attacks carried on some kind of website or web-based application that impact the confidentiality, the availability, or the integrity of the website or its users. So let's go through a couple of examples to step through what some attacks might be against a web application. First one is manipulating a website to reveal some sensitive information. Let's say the website is logging things to the console that aren't necessarily secure, maybe some personal information, or it's leaking information from other users on the site, or it's a supplied payload that you are providing to the website in order to trick it into giving you sensitive information. So that would be a violation of the confidentiality that a website would offer, or the integrity of its security. Taking over someone else's account, and by somebody else I mean another user that's on the website, or maybe an administrator of, let's say, a forum or some kind of purchasing portal like Amazon or Shopify account. Taking over another account would be bad because then you're essentially impersonating that other person, which again kind of goes back into the integrity of the website, but also potentially the availability of that user's account. If you take over that person's account, you change the passwords or the login information, they can't get in, so you're denying them service to their own account. And last but not least, an example would be crashing a web server completely and denying the service to other users. So whether you inject malicious code into a website that has it, consuming all of its resources, and the website is just really slow to respond, or the application completely goes down entirely, you're denying the availability of the service to essentially the entire internet, or whoever's supposed to be using it at that point. So here are a couple objectives for the next up-and-coming lectures and series of videos. So for one, gain a solid understanding of what websites are, their construction, and what they mean in today's world. So we're going to talk about what a website is, what a web browser is, what the HTTP protocol is, and how the pieces all come together and play nicely or don't play nicely within the context of security. We're also going to be talking about the OWASP. If you're not familiar with OWASP right now, that's okay. We're going to be getting into it. They are a great resource for providing up-to-date information on common vulnerabilities that apply across the entire industry. So we're going to be taking a look at a few examples of those, and then by the end of this course and these lectures, you're going to be able to evaluate web apps for common vulnerabilities. So we're talking about things like cross-site scripting, cross-site request forgery, injection attacks, as well as some information leakage and authorization bypasses. So who is this set of lectures and talks for? You might be asking yourself. For one, you might be interested in hacking, but you don't have any coding experience and you're not really sure where to start. This was me about 6 or 7 years ago. I knew I wanted to get in security, but I didn't really know where to go, and I luckily fell into place with some mentors that I worked with that were able to provide me some great instruction, and this is what I want to return to the community as a way to get started in the world of hacking without being overwhelmed with the information. This would be a safe place for everyone to kind of get their wheels going, so to speak. Someone else who might be working on this course might also be interested in transitioning into security or being able to apply security concepts in their day-to-day work. So let's say, for example, you are a software engineer currently and you're building web-based applications, you may not have a big grasp on a lot of security concepts, and you may want to brush up on those and understand the impact of a lot of attacks. Let's say if you're presented with a penetration testing report, what do those attacks mean for you as a developer? And then there might be some of you that are watching this that have no interest in getting into security, getting into hacking, but you want to understand what's at risk here, and that's perfectly fine. We're here to suit the curious mind as well, who might be looking for some more guidance and an in-depth technical understanding. So a couple of reasons why somebody might want to learn hacking. Some people might be turned off by the idea of teaching hacking. As far as an ethical concern goes, you're teaching people to actively destroy and potentially divulge information from websites, which doesn't seem counterintuitive, but there is a huge industry of people who are paid to find vulnerabilities before the actual bad guys do. So it's better to find a vulnerability that could lead to a data breach as a good guy playing on the side of the website owners or application owners versus the exploit to be taken advantage of in the wild, and then you have real world consequences. You have data leaked, you have lives at stake in a way when people put their credit card information or social security number into a website as well. So there's some big risks here. But for some reasons, you might want to get into hacking. One, you might want to transition into cybersecurity or a security-focused career, or become a penetration tester or a bug bounty hunter. Bug bounty hunting does pay. There are plenty of public programs out there that you can participate in, and if you find vulnerabilities, companies will pay you out. So it's a great way to make some extra money while expanding your career set. You may also want to become a more secure web developer. So let's say you work maybe with a front-end tech stack right now. You're building the face of a web page, but you want to understand how you can help improve the security posture of your application. This would be someone who could be interested in this course. And at the end of the day, really anyone who's interested in any kind of aspect of security, the more eyes that we have on these kinds of problems, more visibility we have into applications and how they're built, and really what can go wrong, the more secure that we can make them. So before we start getting into some more of the topics at hand, a quick disclaimer. Hacking is illegal, period. I'm not going to be an expert on the law behind cybersecurity and computer fraud, but if you have any questions about whether somebody would get mad if you were hacking their site, don't do it. Don't do it without written authorization. If you have any questions, find a lawyer, find someone who's very privy to this kind of information. This isn't exactly legal advice, but I do want to give a fair warning that hacking is dangerous. If you are caught doing the wrong thing, you can potentially go to jail. So I just have to put that out there.